You guys can hear me, let me know. I've been tinkering with this road all day, and I think I have it. On here. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. Testing, testing. All right. I think you can hear me though, right? Uh, Give me a yay or nay. You can hear me. Don't make me cut on phone here. Make sure I got my levels up here. You guys should be able to hear me though, right? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Going up. Anyway, I have a couple interesting topics to talk about here, and maybe it'll be a quick night. We may even get some callers to call in, but I'm gonna have to check and make sure you guys can hear me before I get too far into this, since I'm not getting many comments in the chat. But if you let me know if you can hear me, that'll be great. Someone give me a yay or nay. Otherwise, I'll go over here. Let's see if anyone hears me. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick discussion on the Olympics. I'm not sure. Oh, my mic is mute. Now you should be able to hear me. I think that's right. Am I right? Get my levels up. Loud and clear now. Okay, perfect, 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 perfect. All right, all right. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was was Biden is canceling more student loan debt. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that. Uh, I'm going to jump right into this. Very interesting. Let's see. Where's that article here? Oh, here it is. I'll zoom in. You guys may be delighted by this information here. As you can see here, Wednesday, July 31st, Biden announced new rules on July 31st that make millions more borrowers eligible for student loan debt relief. Today, my administration took another major step to cancel student debt for approximately 30 million Americans. We won't stop fighting to provide relief to student loan borrowers, fix the broken student loan system, and help borrowers get out from under the burden of student debt. He goes on to say, starting on August 1st, the Education Department will send emails to all borrowers with at least one outstanding federal student loan with updates on potential debt relief and a notice of the August 30th deadline to call and opt out if you are not interested in the program. The email does not guarantee eligibility. Here's a quote from someone: "These latest steps will mark the next milestone in our efforts to help millions of borrowers who have been buried under a mountain of student loan interest or who took on debt to pay for college programs that left them worse off financially. Those who have been paying their loans for 20 or more years and many others." Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said. And you may be able to see that. I'll zoom in a little bit more if you can't. I pretty much read the most relevant parts of this. Here's something else highlighted. Again, this article is from Zero Hedge here. Borrowers who instead want to opt out of debt relief can do so by contacting their servicer by August 30th, but will not be able to opt back into the program. I can't imagine anyone opting out of debt relief. That wouldn't make sense. So the ability to not be able to opt back in, well, no one's going to go back through that back door anyway. The Harris-Biden administration has approved $69 billion for roughly a million borrowers through fixes to public service loan forgiveness, $51 billion or more for more than a million borrowers through adjustments to income-driven repayment counts, and $28.7 billion for more than 1.6 million who were cheated by their schools, saw their institutions precipitously close or are covered by related court settlement. The administration also granted $14 billion more to more than 500,000 borrowers with total and permanent disabilities, and $5.5 billion to 414,000 borrowers through the SAVE plan. From day one of my administration, I promised to fight to ensure higher education is a ticket to the middle class, not a barrier to opportunity. Blah 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 blah. Education is truly being destroyed here right before our eyes. It won't be worth anything by the time these people get through with it. The next topic I wanted to talk about, which was a topic that kind of rolls into the other topic of interest of mine, and that is the Pritzker scandal, the Pritzker family. I'm not sure if any of you are aware of the Pritzker family, but they are basically, I think the one of the Pritzkers is a governor in Illinois, and I think his sister may be in the Biden administration. Hey, they have a few grace days. Hey, that's why I have a little time here. They got a few days grace period. Welcome to the Alpha Builder. What's up, the Alpha Builder? I have an issue with the ideology of forgiving student loan debt to people. Hey, me too. But I think that ultimately it's going to go our way because it's going to destroy the colleges and things like that. In the short term, they're going to feel like they got over on us. But the thinking man is not going to be paying for college when you look around at what's going on these colleges. No one's going to pay for that. No thinking man. There'll be other ways of getting an education, and so you kind of have to let them destroy themselves. I have a saying for that. I always say, it's the tragedy of the commons. It's that. It's a social and political problem in which each individual is incentivized to act in a way that will ultimately be harmful to all. And so when these people are demanding that their student loan be forgiven, they're ultimately destroying the system for all. They're destroying the trust. But let me get to this Pritzker article here. How many of you know about the Pritzkers? I read this article, as you can see, way back in 2020. And I thought about this when the Olympics, this issue with the Olympics came up. And I said, wow, this is really kind of amazing. So I think I've scrolled in as much as I can. I'm going to put this down here so I can see it better. And so here's what we have about the Pritzkers here. I'm not sharing that screen. Let me share that screen. You may or may not know this person here. This is one of the Pritzkers. I think this is his brother, that may have turned into a woman. They transition or whatever. So anyway, this article is about the Pritzkers and how much money they have donated to the transgenderism movement. So I'll jump right down to where it gets into it. The Pritzkers and Transgenderism. Now, how many of you knew that their interest in transgenderism? I didn't. So it's very interesting to me. Up until I read this article. The Pritzker family, heirs to the Hyatt Hotel, today use their estimated $29 billion fortune to speculate on stock market, dodge taxes, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things that this article mentions is how much they've invested in transgender movement. The Jewish clan has made capital activism, where money wrung out of working class people is used to pay for the pet projects, blah, 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 the hotels, blah, 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 blah. But I want to get down to the piece. So the person I showed you earlier was Jenny Pritzker. She's a male to female transgender who served in the United States military. What's up, Woody? According to research conducted by Jennifer Blake, Jennifer's money, along with other figures like, I can't say it, has put the wind in the sails of the transgender top-down revolution, granting it scientific and medical credibility through the power of their checkbooks. I don't know how many of you knew this. Along with trained operatives who have helped institutionalize in the corporate world, the Pritzkers are heavily invested in the world of what? Pharmaceuticals and science. Who would have thought that a governor would be heavily invested in pharmaceuticals and the pharmaceuticals as it relates to transgenderism? Anyway, through the Tawani Foundation, uh, this researcher has been able well, Jennifer, I'm sorry, not the researcher, has been able to corrupt and influence the direction of the ACLU, various military academies, medical institutions, including for children and universities. In recent years, Jennifer has donated millions to the University of Minnesota Medical Department's Human Sexuality Department, carved out of a Pritzker School of Medicine at the University of Chicago, and a Transgender Studies chair handpicked by Pritzker at the University of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada. Other members of the Pritzker family donated $25 million to University of California at San Francisco's Child Health Department, which under auspices predictably advocates for confused or ill young children to be given irreversible transsexual surgeries. Amazing, right? I'm going to skip over a lot of the commentary and get to the meat of some of the things that I thought was interesting. Just about how much money they've given. In 2013, Jennifer Pritzker donated $25 million to the prestigious University of Norwich and its military department, which is credited with creating the ROTC system. This was the largest donation to the school it's ever received in its 194-year history. A few years later, the University of Norwich's Student Rules Manual has a whole chapter dedicated to accommodating transgender recruits with specialist exceptions, putting the homo in global homo imperialism, this guy goes on to say. Agents trained in Pritzker-funded school departments or who are selected for Pritzker scholarship include people like University of Chicago medicine academic David T. Rubin, who also served as an expert advisor at CVS Caremark, which acquired Target, famous for its transgender bathroom policy, and Lauren Schechter, an influential gender confirmation surgeon. Wow, I didn't know they had. I did not know they had gender confirmation surgeon. Anyway, so while transgenderism is associated with the Democrats, Jennifer Pritzker is a lifelong GOP donor. But the billionaire last year decried its marginalization at the hands of the Trump administration's rhetoric. In his op-ed, Pritzker demands the GOP go back to focusing on low taxes for billionaires and defer to experts on issues like transgenderism. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can get down to some more of the meat of the matter, if I can remember from this article, as it relates to the LGBT. Let's see if I can find the rest of these. You'll see the brother here, who is the governor of Illinois. He has signed executive orders and bills on immigration that ban local law enforcement from cooperating with ICE, give wide swaths of Illinois' illegal immigrant population amnesty, and develop a special incentive program for illegal and transgender students to receive public grants from the Monetary Award Program. Governor Pritzker has also signed an executive order giving transgender and non-binary students special privileges in school, along with free access to an arsenal of lawyers that effectively controls the direction of sexual education and erases the First Amendment rights of fellow students, this guy goes on to say. The Pritzkers are only one in relatively small branch of Americans' hereditary plutocracy. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I found it interesting that the Pritzkers have donated so much money to the transgender movement. And that gets me kind of right into the Olympics. I wonder how many people have seen the Olympics? How many people saw the opening ceremony? How many people saw the boxing match between the Algerian lady and the was it an Italian lady? How many people saw that? I'm really curious to know. The reason why I ask is because it seems that much of this has been censored. I'm not sure if you guys have noticing this, but it used to be like a national pride to watch the Olympics, but you could hardly find any clips online. The opening ceremony, many YouTubers were probably stricken down if they played any videos of it. So it's just kind of interesting to see just the kind of the censorship of the Olympics. And I was just wondering if anyone else has seen kind of the censorship, or if anyone has heard about the lady that was injured in the boxing match. It's kind of amazing that we allowed a man with the XY chromosome. Someone says it used to be family friendly. Yeah, indeed. But it's kind of interesting that we allowed a man with the XY chromosome to box a woman. And I think there's one more woman left. I think she's Chinese. And I think they beat two of the best women boxers. So there probably would be a man or a person with XY chromosomes being the women's Olympic gold medalist and probably the silver medalist as well. So it's very interesting. What's up, Angel? It's very interesting that I would imagine that, has anyone seen this? I haven't seen it at all. Someone says, calm down, you're getting triggered. Not today. Not today. This is a light day. Actually, I was hoping I'd get a few phone calls. I would test out the road as well. So very light day today. Very light. Very light. But anyway, I'll go through the chats. I was curious to know, just anyone seen any of the Olympics? Did you see the boxing match between the lady and the Algerian lady? If you saw the opening ceremony, let me know about that. If you're familiar with all the money that is spent on transgender surgeries, and if you want to talk about that, you could feel free to hit the link. Matter of fact, let me put the link in the chat. All right. Anyone want to hop on the chat? Feel free. You can hop on any time. I'll let you up, Stanley. That even includes you there. Stanley, you're always welcome up. But yeah, anything else? Anyone else seen the Olympics, the opening ceremony? Has anyone seen it on YouTube anyway? Simone Biles won a gold. Did you see this, or did you just hear the reporting of her winning the gold? I'm not challenging you that she won it. I'm just wondering if you saw any of the coverage there. Anyone else? I saw the replays. She got. She did get it. What did you think about that when you saw this woman fighting a man? Can I call her man? And you see, what was your gut reaction when you saw that? I'm curious to know. Stanley says I saw a clip plus reporting. Is this usual? Is it? I don't watch a lot of TV, so maybe this is normal over the years. But is this the normal process for how the Olympics is covered, or is this something new? I'm not quite sure. You guys let me know in the chat. So this is Alpha Bill. Alpha Bill, you down in Birmingham, right? Hey, man, I just got off the phone with my Birmingham buddy, the one I interviewed you with. I think you were like one of my first interviews. Hey, man, we're in a lot of trouble because these people are infecting the ideology, in the military and things like that. And I don't think you need transgenderism in the military. Speaking of transgenderism, I want to show you guys a clip you may or may not be aware of. Let me see if I can find it. I'm sure I bookmarked it if I didn't send it to myself. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I found it. I found it. Let me see if I can put this up on the screen for you. I did. All right. We're going to get this up here. Just 1 minute. I'm going to pause that. And let me put this up on the screen. Oh, I'm already sharing the screen. Okay. Share this tab instead. All I want you to take a look at this. Let me know if you can hear this. Sure, I can hear it.
All sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas. These children are not going to have a Merry Christmas.
What?
Christmas. How dare we?
What?
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas.
This is a clip of Kamala Harris. It was 7 years ago, and I think she was saying she's going to fight. I wonder why I can't hear this. Maybe I didn't share the audio. Let me stop it and start it again. I'm sharing the audio. Let's see. Let's make sure you guys can hear it. Did you guys hear that, by the way? Did you guys hear that, by the way? Let me share it again. Again, this is Kamala Harris about 7 years ago.
These children are not going to have a Merry Christmas.
Audio.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we? And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
There was audio to this, and this is you guys.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas.
And I don't hear it myself.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Years ago was that 20? Yeah, well.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas.
But again, like regardless of if she has,
how dare we speak Merry?
No one makes someone even like and be so strident about that. There's so many bigger in America. It is very good. Just go down to the border, but as it relates to this, whatever it is, she's fired up. Anyway, let me take the it's here, but let's see. Let's see. I don't know what you're talking about here, pretty. What like? Oh, you see, I didn't even read that word. I think when I saw the word, I was like, "Oops, I better not say that." I'll let you type it. I won't say it. Actually, yeah, I don't think I have strong opinion one way or the other. I think the strongest opinion I would have is the Bishop Stanley what you know, introduce particularly not in schools, but adults do trying to do. But I think I have proselytized like religion, like was going door to door, but maybe on that. I think that's it may pretty much come in straight. Yeah. Stanley, you always find something to retort what she's saying. I wonder what do you think about what she's saying when you heard it 7 years ago? Man, I'd be curious to know. I don't know what's wrong with this road. But anyway, it was great having this chat. We've been on like 30 minutes to take a couple of issues we wanted to go over as well as test my road. Anyway, all in. Just capabilities, the numbers, and yeah, great to give you guys a few minutes while I smoke. Figure this road thing out. Maybe I could get young guy, Gary or something like that. A couple of landlords here in DC seemingly overpriced rental. I can't. They're going to ban that software. The real estate companies or the software. It's going to be very interesting how they in and out. Most my mic or
Hey, John.
told you, what's up, Rashu? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, but your mic is going in and out, bro. I don't know if it's me or if it's just the stream yard itself. Say that again.
I figured this shit out. That shit been looping in my mic, in my earphone. Man, I think I figured this thing out. Can you hear me, Rashu?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yo, it's like a fucking pro box here, man. Like, you know, you gotta really know what the hell you're doing over here with this thing.
Yeah. What was it like? You had something on where it was interfering with the mic?
Yeah, no, the button press so you don't hear it in your mic. I mean, this shit is like a million buttons over here. But you know, it's like a gadget, so I like playing with it. Yeah.
No, it's all good. No, I mean it's good to learn new stuff. But yeah, I was just trying to let you know. But what's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Oh, one day at a time, one day at a time, right? Hey, were you aware of how much it costs to transition someone? Are you aware?
To transition a who you talking about?
A man to a woman.
Oh yeah, man.
Have you been looking into it for yourself?
I haven't been looking into it. I just heard about it. I mean, you got people going to the military to get those subsidies to do it for free, essentially.
You know, what did you think about Kamala Harris? The passion that she showed for the transgenderism.
You said the passion that she showed for the transgender who?
You know, just the whole transgender issue. Let me play it. Let me hear it again because I haven't heard it in a while. I want to play this to make sure this is the right video I'm playing.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Oh, this is
how
the Merry
dare
Christmas.
we?
Sorry, this is the Merry Christmas one. Sorry, there's a transgender one that I gotta play.
But hold on, let me say something about this one.
Oh, go ahead.
I've never seen her that alert and you know really trying to articulate a point about anything.
That's a good point, Rashu.
She seems way more genuine in this video.
That's a very good point. Yeah, she is very adamant right here. You know, she this is the most animated I've ever seen her. That's a very good point.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
You see, Stanley says 16 seconds from 7 years ago speaks volume. Yeah, that's true. And the point that Rashu says it speaks volumes as well. We haven't seen this passion from her in 7 years.
Well, she's been like a shell. She's been like a shell of a person. Like you really don't know what she thinks. She comments just to say that she's alive type of thing, but you really don't know what she thinks. She's a Joe Biden part 2 until the past, 10 days ago. Or not even 10 days, what was it? 7 days ago?
Yeah, whatever it was. You know, I really don't even keep up with it anymore. You know, a couple things as it relates to this transgender. Look at this, Rashu. And I'm not sure if you can see this. I may need to zoom in.
The son of Megan Fox, the son of Gwen Stefani.
The son of Angelina Jolie, their daughter. All of these children are like trans. It's kind of interesting, right?
It's a fad in California. It's something to do.
You think that's what it is?
That's what I heard it was from people who come from that same type of quilt.
Have you seen this? And again,
Like I've been
Go ahead.
I've been watching Tucker Carlson a lot, and he's been having a lot of wide range of people on.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot of those people, you know, say that there's like he just had a guy on today where he was talking about the open AI people and how they have like this whole cult that they believe in. You feel me? This reality without a higher power type of thing. This technology type of reality. And yeah, it kind of relates to this, but I don't want to derail from the conversation because I don't really.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to just post this one thing. I think someone said HB posted a lot.
Former talk show host Montel Williams. Back then, he was the famous one and had to introduce her to the paparazzi. Before she met Doug Emhoff, she dated some prominent men, including in 2001 former talk show host Montel Williams.
Is that his? That's his daughter or something right there, right?
Yo, y'all said that to y'all, somebody on your panel I think said that yesterday when this video was played. I never knew that was his daughter until
I don't know if that's his daughter. I'm asking. I'm assuming that it is.
I think it is. I think it is. I looked it up. I think it is his daughter, but somebody verify. But his daughter is very beautiful. Jesus Christ.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Lord, it's my shit. But you know, it's very interesting that you know, she's a very attractive woman with like. I don't think she has any children. Correct? I don't think she
no, she doesn't. But hold on, before we even go that far, right? How does it look as Montel Williams? You're holding the chick that you busting down with your daughter, who damn near look like the same age or something. You know what I mean? That's a bad look.
I wonder how old was Kamala right there.
I mean, she was at least old enough to date Montel.
Apparently. Let me share this headline. You know, back to the Pritzker thing. 1 minute with you. Take a look at this. Oh, damn, these ad blockers. That too. Sometimes they let you read them, sometimes they don't. But anyway, in the article that I showed you earlier, the Pritzkers seem to be very keen on donating money and pushing forward the transgender, and the amount of money it takes to transition someone is like $1 million. Did you know that? Like $1 million to transition someone.
A person?
Yeah, all the drugs, you know, that it takes to transition. Like it's about $1 million. And basically no one can afford that. So the government is on the hook for it. Then if anyone decides to transition, you know, the government is going to have to pay for it. So like if you're in the military, the government would have to pay for that transitioning. You know, not only is it expensive, but it makes you worthless for at least a year or so while you're healing from all those surgeries. You know? And then you have to factor this person probably isn't mentally cut out to serve after going through all of that. You know, it's like only the pharmaceuticals would win in that regard. And the United States military would just be on the hook for all of that.
Right.
Whoever would have thought it would be that much more in transgender? Whoever would have thought? Whoever would have thought? You got any other topics you want to cover, Rush? Any other topics in the chat anyone want to talk about before we get out? It's like already.
Any other topic? I mean, you already went through the most trend. I mean, you've been live. I mean, everybody been live all day throughout your channel. You've been off and you've been on. The thing that everybody was talking about earlier was the Trump at the what was that? The black I forget what they call it, but
the black journalist.
Whatever, yeah, the black journalist. There you go. That event. I think that that was one of the best, conversation. Well, that was the best articulation of Trump that he's ever had, period. Because he just sat down and was like, hey man, listen, this is what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Versus to just trying to pander to an audience, right? I mean, Trump always gives it to you, like it is, but he's a New Yorker, right? He's bullshitting most of the time. But in that conversation, it seemed like he was just trying to just tell you what it was. He articulated himself in a manner in which, I think that everybody would understand. You know what I mean? You would just have to be a person in denial to not try to understand what was going on. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I liked that interview and I thought it was needed. But yeah.
Here's my thoughts. Matter of fact, I'm gonna before I play this video, RD Chico, I'm gonna play, if I can find it, NABG. Let me see. I may have sent myself the email about it. Let me see. See if I can pull it up. I do have it. And I'm going to give you, I gave you a bit of what I thought earlier. And I'm going to give it to you again. Oh, wait a minute. This is Kamala. Oh, this is Kamala. Shit. I thought I had the one with the NABJ. All right, let me see. I'm sure there are plenty of clips of it. Oh, here it is right here. Let's see if I can find a good clip. All right, so I want you to notice what he does here, Rashu.
To where they came from.
So peep game what he does.
Which is not true. You have told four women of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network.
So you see the first thing he did here, Rashu?
Yeah. He pulled rank. He commanded the audience right there. And I've already seen this. But
yeah, I know. Yeah, go ahead.
But the fact that he was like, "Hey, listen, y'all was 30-something minutes late. I was already here."
Well, he hasn't said that yet.
Nah, go ahead.
Right, he hasn't said it yet. But he started off by showing how nasty she was. Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Which was pulling rank.
Right. And
He
that was
put it
called,
right.
okay, put it right, okay. And that got the audience behind him. Notice that.
No. All right. So a better way of saying that is showing dominance. Right.
Okay, fair enough. However you want to call it, it's probably Stanley buzzing in. So he says, okay, like, damn, lady, you kind of rude. And most people sitting there, hey, this is the president of the United States. That is kind of rude to just come off like a bulldog immediately into the interview, right? Now watch this. This was masterful right here.
Terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones.
Here it comes.
With
Watch.
Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this. Historically, black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very...
Hold on, pause it right quick. Notice that he's at a Democratic event, right?
What's up,
Do you hear all those people in the back cheering for him when he talks? You know what that's telling me? That's telling me that his base went to this event. You see what I'm saying?
Some of his base went there, or just some of the people there?
I think some of his base went to this event, because listen to all the people who are screaming in the background. At these types of events, they're scripted with the sign that says, applaud. You know what I'm talking about, John.
I don't know if these niggas had that working. They couldn't even get damn audio.
Well, yeah, maybe not. I don't know, but
they wouldn't have abided by it anyway. Like that was not like.
Let's say it wasn't working. You got niggas back there cheering for Trump at a fucking Democratic Party.
I believe it was genuine.
Huh?
I believe it was genuine. I believe it was genuine. They're clapping, in my opinion. It was tepid. It was like, ooh, I don't want to clap, but I can't help but clap, because what he's saying is the truth. And some of those people,
maybe
some of those people do probably
maybe
like Trump. I'm imagining that there is at least a handful of journalists among the blacks. Blacks are monolith, but they're not that monolithic, where it's 100% of them in there that are pro-Trump. I mean, pro Biden. And I don't think they're swallowing this Kamala very well. And I want you to notice this pivot. Oh man, this shit was math. Only a real estate guy would even know how to do this. Now I want you to watch what he does, and if you don't notice it, I'll explain what it's a real estate move right here. Beat this.
A rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working, or something
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric.
Now watch this. Watch this. So that niggers, that old angry ass niggers, is still trying to get him to answer the question. And I want you to watch this masterful pivot.
I have answered the question. I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
This isn't the long enough clip. But after that, there was the second black lady that came in, and Trump said, you remember I had a very long interview with you. Does everyone remember that? AP, do you remember that?
He paid her homage. He showed her love. He was like, "Listen, that was the best interview," and she was like, "Yeah, that was the. You said that was the longest interview."
And so
And
basically,
Yeah,
what
also
he
that was
did
too,
great.
was
they
basically.
set up
Go ahead,
Harris
HB,
Faulkner.
AP.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They set up Harris Faulkner to be way at the other end of the stage.
Oh, is
And
that her name, Harris Faulkner? Okay,
Harris
yeah.
Faulkner, yes, she's the Fox News correspondent. And they also, I wouldn't be surprised they messed with her mic too, so he couldn't hear her.
I didn't even think about that shit.
Yeah, because I
Well,
noticed the two that
well,
one
every
closest to
time.
him. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, my bad, AP.
No
I'm not
rushing. Go
trying to
ahead.
cut you off.
No, it's fine.
I'm just trying to say something to that point. Even Trump, if you watch the whole interview, even Trump, he was bitching, he was he was bitching the female that was giving him all that attitude and acting like her mic had issues. But every time that the female that we're talking about that he gave props to, I forgot what the name was, he heard her and he was like, "Yeah, your mic sounds good." Like he was going out of his way to like, uphold her because she was good. But yeah, but no, I'm sorry, AP. Go
And I
ahead.
noticed too, the nastiest one, notice the seating. Now, I don't believe in coincidences, but the nastiest one was seated close to him. And just her,
Yeah,
and a lot of times they do it, when they interview people, the harshness and everything. And another thing, I don't know if people picked up, is that Harris Faulkner, when the nasty ones kept diverting his answers and trying to divert to personality and the questions, because they weren't even really interviewing him, they were attacking him. Harris Faulkner would come in and try to bring him back to policy questions. She was the only one asking
yeah,
policy questions. The others who would just attack, and they both came across as unprofessional and ignorant.
and that
And
should
I
show
want
you.
and I, and I
That should
want
show you.
Black people to realize these Black women that they keep putting above you, they're doing it for a reason. They're making a fool of the Black race. Because let me tell you something. Of all, and I'm quite sure there are a lot of professional Black men out there who are journalists. How come they didn't have a Black man on the stage? Not even a gay Black man, but they had two hair-headed hooligans on stage, because that's exactly what they were.
Well, do you remember the one black guy? I think there's really only one that I can know of this black. But they may not even allow him in the NABJ. Remember, they've thrown him out of the press room a couple of times. I think it's an African guy. He may report for African News. I can't
No,
remember
I
his
think I know
name.
what you're talking about. They throw
Yeah.
the other ratchet bitch, excuse my language, the one from Haiti that was a Joe Biden speaker. Oh yeah, he always used to, and he wasn't rude, he wasn't disrespectful. He would ask real questions, and they would throw him out. She wouldn't call on him. She would talk. Oh, his hand will be raised. I don't know if I think I knew who you're talking about. His hand will be raised.
Simon something.
Yeah, and she'll reach over and she'll call everybody else. And so finally, one time he interrupted. He was like, "Excuse me, I had my hand up, and you just completely ignored me. I'm a journalist too. I have the right to ask questions." Of course, in typical BB fashion, she yelled at him, "You're being rude," and blah blah blah, this and that. But that's what they do. They just,
You know,
yeah.
AP. I've thought when I watched this, and I haven't even watched much of it. To be honest with you, my initial thought went to Don Lemon. Here you have a very influential man in front of you, president in this case, Elon Musk in Don Lemon's case. You could ask him anything in the world. You could have said, "Hey, Mr. President, hey, I want to report for your campaign. I can be honest. I'll be hard hitting, but I'll be honest. Whatever, set yourself up for the next interview or something. He may be president. He may not be president, but an interview with him would be worth something. Set yourself up for the future." But in Don Lemon's case and in this woman's case, I guess they had to do the bidding of the Democrats to their own professional detriment. Who in the hell wants to deal with a woman that nasty, even if she's on your side politically? You find someone else more professional to do the hit job than that.
And well, look at her. And then they, couldn't even speak proper English. judgmental, and it's just the terminology. There was nothing professional. She never could look at him. Her head would be turned. It's like it just came across as very nasty. And as far as Don Lemon, remember? Did you ever watch his interview with Elon Musk?
Yeah, I saw
The
pieces of
richest
it.
man in the world.
I didn't understand that.
And he couldn't even do a proper interview. This is why when whites say that these people are just affirmative action hires, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
Name a white person who interviews like that.
Yeah.
Name one.
Well, I mean, there probably are some liberal women that interview like that, but I think they probably have a little bit better talent to do broader interviews. Yeah, they can attack him, but then they can do other interviews where they're more professional. But I think that many of those black reporters probably aren't very good at their job, and they're working for little small blah blah blah. Maybe I don't know, working for the Washington Post, writing local columns or something. I'm not sure, but I would bet you that if they had a career on the upswing, they couldn't look at someone like him and act that way. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? What do you think, AP?
Yes, I agree. Because it's and also taking your job seriously to ask important questions that people are interested in hearing. But I think, like you were saying before, their job is only to attack.
Yeah, well.
They did not come there with good intentions at all. And each time that, even when Harris Faulkner was trying to direct the questions back, they will interrupt her as well. Right? They probably don't even see her as being a black journalist because she works for Fox News.
She's on Fox.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: is she the most like accomplished of the two women that were on stage?
Yes, she is the most professional as well.
Okay, then that all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. So she probably is kind of an outsider herself, and that's why they put that liberal one up front, in front of Trump. Okay, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. Who was that woman that they put up front? He said she was on ABC News. Is she like on nightly news or something?
I've never seen them before, but I do know this: CNN and MSNBC loves pulling these wild, ratchet black women on their panels, and they always come across as nasty and very in attack mode. But yet, so these are the same women that say that when you tell them that black women are seen as the least attractive, the most violent, they will argue you down and say, no, that's just a stereotype. Each time when they're given opportunities on the world stage to show that, hey, we are not like the stereotypes you say of us. We are in opposition. We're just as intelligent as everybody else. They blow it.
Now, AP, correct me if I'm wrong. Were they defending Kamala's race as being black in this interview?
Yes.
Wasn't it like the first one? Okay. So,
yes, and that's what makes it the most embarrassing. Kamala Harris, who has no respect for black people, let's keep it real. All her friends, she grew up around white people. All the things she talks about is her Indian family. She doesn't, and let's say the black part, that's the part that's supposed to be black, the Jamaican side, she never even talks about a black father. All she talks about is her mother, her Indian mother. She has I don't see any black men working on her campaign or panel. And this is the part that sickens me about black people is this: Republicans are supposed to be so racist. They're the party of the Klan. But look at all the black men that have ran for office, for governor, for senators, for even presidential race, that were black men.
AP, I want to pivot a little bit because I want to get all the topics before you go. I don't want you to say, hey, I got to go. And I said, damn, I didn't get a chance to ask her this question. Have you been watching the Olympics at all?
No, I have not, but I can tell you what I have picked up from the clips.
Well, before you tell me that, why haven't you been watching it?
Because number one, it's not the Olympics because Russia is not there, right? How can you win a gold medal and not a powerhouse country like Russia is not there? And I keep hearing that, oh, they're at war, they're terrorists. You have Middle Eastern countries there. They're allowed to participate. Second thing, another thing I don't like it is they keep putting up all these women. I guess men are not in the Olympics. No men are. There are
I don't
no.
think I've seen one.
Yeah, there are no men in the Olympics at all. It's all Simone Biles, the women's gymnastics team. You know, there's a men's gymnastics team too.
I think most people probably just like the relay races or whatever. I don't watch the Olympics, so I have no idea.
And there's also a question about some of the ones who've won. There's a question mark about whether they're women or not. There's a swimmer. I don't know. She could be a biological woman, but those shoulders are really broad.
Let me ask you this, AP.
Yeah.
Do you feel that they're censoring the Olympics? Because I haven't seen any footage of it. I don't watch TV, but you can't find it on the internet anywhere.
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. The city of Paris, they've cleaned it up because the last time I was there, it wasn't that clean. So I'm wondering, where do they put all the migrants that were sleeping out in the street?
Did you hear about the boxing match in the Olympics?
I think you're talking about, was it an Algerian girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. They said they think that she's male. She tested too high for testosterone levels or something. I'm not sure, but she could have been a whole man. Who knows?
Nah, what happened is that she was actually one of those. She was biologically born as I think it was a female, and it wasn't until she got tested where they realized she was like a hermaphrodite or something like that, where she had an XY.
Well, that means she's a man.
Goddamn
man, baby.
Right.
You're a man, baby.
Yeah, but the testes was inside of her, and she didn't know. So it's a weird. It is a weird thing.
You see the XY though, right? Do you? Am I wrong?
No, yeah. But yeah, she didn't. It's a weird case. It's not like a somebody who was born one thing and said there was another. It was like she was. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah, nigga, you go.
I thought you were done. I didn't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Nah, nigga, you talk.
I was going to ask you, have you guys heard about the Olympics they were supposed to swim in this, I don't know how to pronounce it, Seine River, and it was too polluted. Apparently Paris has Get Crack probably knows this, has like a museum of sewers or something like that, and I guess that's for good reason, because they have to dump some sewage from time to time apparently in the Seine River. And so I read online that some people were jumping in here and were throwing up and getting sick from the fecal matter. But apparently it's a little too polluted for these people to swim in. And AP, since you mentioned all of this migration, I wonder if part of it is like, all of this migration, all of these people that are
the
living
French
outside.
are nasty. No, the French are nasty.
Oh, really? Is
they're
there
not. Their hygiene is not as good as like the Anglo-British or the Germans. They have a reputation of being nasty. Even if you go back in history, they said.
Hold on. Nasty in what way though? Nasty in what
hygiene. Bad hygiene. Even in modern times, bad hygiene. You go in the city of Paris, it stinks just like New York. And maybe the migrants are defecating in the water, who knows? But
in New York, do you not having that problem though?
No, but New York,
you can't swim in the Hudson River.
Right. The New York is still filthy compared to other cities. It just has it's just a city. It's a lot of people, and it's it's just that way. But Paris, even France, even back in the day, they said they used to use the toilet in the corners of the palaces. Like you would go to Versailles, like, oh, this is beautiful, and toilets. They didn't have enough running toilets at that time. They would defecate under the stairwells, and so they were known for having lice and all kinds of other things. Very unhygienic people. As far as the Seine River, no, it is a very dirty river. It always
Okay.
been dirty.
Okay. It's
Whether they
always
were
dirty.
dumping
Okay.
sewage in there or not, I don't know. But if you go there, put it this way, it's a big difference visiting, let's say, Paris versus Stockholm, or versus going to any like Nordic European country. They're not the same.
I did
Or
not know that.
even just going to England. It's a big difference.
I've been to Paris once, but I guess I had a New York sensibility when I went there, so the sights and smells probably didn't bother me. I tell you what I did notice though, and a buddy of mine, he came on CT's show, and he's been on this show too. We actually went to Paris together once, and we were down there. What's that Eiffel Tower thing? You ever been there, AP?
Yes, I've been to the Eiffel Tower several times. The first time I went, you could just walk up to it and stand underneath it, and it was open. The last couple of times I went, you have to go through security. They now have a line you have to go through, and they check your purse and all this stuff. Thanks to diversity is our strength. The migrants that have come there, it's the city has changed a lot. The last time I was there, they had armed security guards walking up and down the street with weapons on because of the migrants, and not just, I wouldn't say just blame it all on the migrants, but just I would say the migrants, because it wasn't there before.
Did you see the Africans selling trinkets right there on that street?
Yeah,
Right,
they do
right.
have. Yeah, they do, and they have the music playing out loud and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Another city that's changed a lot is oh gosh, I'm trying to think of where I went to in the Netherlands. I'm so tired, but the more Muslims there and that full jilbab and gear, you'll see them walking around.
What you talking about? Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yeah, I've been there
Amsterdam.
so many
Yeah.
times. I've been there
And
many
so
times.
they now have, and then the worst part about it is now that they're becoming a member of the EU, and it's not just the Middle Eastern migrants, it's a lot of trash coming from Eastern Europe too. The Albanians, they're bringing in the hard drugs, the heroin. So at one time, there was only the drug dealing was done like near the red light district over the bridge. Now it's like you can't walk there at nighttime anymore. They've taken over that. It's changed a whole lot. It's not safe to walk there. Like I said, Paris, the first time I went, I walked around all the time by myself. But this last couple of times I went, I didn't feel the same. And I feel so bad because it's a beautiful city. It's beautiful, the architecture. You go into the museums and you think, with all the greatness, why would you allow people who are less than you to come in and destroy your country? That's the part that bothers me. That's the part that bothers me with the migration that's going on here in America. And I can't say a lot around people because I don't know people's views on things, but I can tell you that I always question that with white people, is that you built this great civilization and you're allowing people who are just beneath you to come in and erase your history and then lie about their history.
AP, let me ask you:
I
Are you
don't get it. I don't get it.
AP? Are you in New York?
No, I'm not in New York.
I mean, are you in the New York area? I guess that's what I should have asked you. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I visited New York before.
Did you see my stream about New York?
I saw one when you were doing about the scooters, how the migrants are all there. But I visited New York before under Mayor Bloomberg, and I also visited when Giuliani was in. And I can tell you, at nighttime you could walk around those touristy areas. It was nice. It wasn't perfect, but it was safe to walk around. Most of the trash was like in Brooklyn, Lower Manhattan, but Upper Manhattan, like Trump Towers, Takayama, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, but up in the shopping area, Mario Tricoci salons, it was really nice.
You're talking about where there was prime real estate.
Yes, it was really nice.
Did you see the interview I did with the guy who worked in a migrant shelter in Brooklyn at Clinton Hill?
No, I did not see that one.
Wow, that was a pretty good one.
But all I can say is that I now, when I travel, I mostly try travel either to Nordic countries or just stay in Asia because of safety. And I think that they're trying to push the woke agenda in Asian countries. And there is a little pushback, but I fear that as these younger generation comes along and go back, they're going to destroy their countries with migration from the Middle East as well. Once you allow those people in, you can kiss it goodbye.
Let's get Tyrone. Let's get Tyrone in here. What's up, Tyrone? You ain't been, I don't think you ever been up. I don't think you ever been up here before. What? Maybe like the first time I started the channel, you came up here, but you haven't been up here since then. I don't think, Tyrone.
I've been working, man. But I have a question.
What's up?
And it's about Kamala Harris and her endorsement to be president. I know that Joe Biden got enough delegates to become the Democratic presidential person. Did she automatically get those delegates, or why didn't it start over and she had to go through the same process? Because I'm quite sure there's other people that want to run for the president being on the Democratic side. So I feel that it is false of her being there because she hasn't went through the right protocol and steps of becoming the Democratic presidential the person to run for president.
How dare you say that? She's a woman, and women are superior to men. She shouldn't have to go through that. I'm being sarcastic.
I know.
Hey, Tyrone, you're old enough to remember Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Do you remember him?
Yeah, the wrestler. Yeah.
AP? Do you remember him?
No, I don't remember him.
Rashu, you remember him?
Rashu, no, sir. No, sir, I do not.
Man, I really believe that this is the reason why they have such a strong, discipline in terms of making you call her Kamala as opposed to Kamala. Because most people my age are older.
Hey John, you played that video earlier.
Yeah.
Didn't her uncle or something like that? I don't think it was her father. Didn't her uncle call her like Kamala? Like it was something crazy.
People my age, man, it's just instinctive. You call her Kamala because this is Kamala, the Ugandan giant. You remember this, Tyrone? You know I ain't bullshit, right?
Yeah.
This ain't no AI shit I made up, right? This is Kamala in my mind.
Yeah, that's Kamala. The one I know.
A primitive African. That's what I know, right? Am I wrong, Tyrone?
Not wrong, but hey, he played a character too now, just like she's playing a character.
He might not even be African. He may not be African, but he played an African on TV, right?
Those are characters,
right? And she playing one. She playing a black character.
Exactly.
Right? Like for people who really, really like you got you wedded to these politics and things like that. Like she's playing a character, just like this man is playing one. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, she was on a eating show, and she admitted that she was South Asian on the same show with the one female. But now all of a sudden she's black when it's convenient.
And there's nothing wrong. I ain't got no problem with that. But for the
I have a problem with it.
I ain't got if she Asian, she Asian. I ain't got no problem with that. That's what she is. But for the people that's gonna force me to accept that she's black, when she's told me she's Asian, I can't accept it, right? Like you feed me a lie. That's the part that I really have a problem with. Tyrone, have you seen this video, Tyrone? Let me see.
Which one?
Kamala Harris, CNN, about 7 years ago.
Nah, I've followed her and all that she's done in California when she almost let a guy get executed, and she knew that the evidence was.
Yeah, take a look at this, Tara.
My mother, who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman. She was a woman with a heavy accent.
And her mother, Shamla Gopalan, was also the biggest influence in Kamala Harris's life.
The answer is absolutely yes, Joe.
After the big announcement, Harris's sister
AP, have you seen this? AP, you there? Have you seen this?
wrote in a Twitter post, "You can't know who Kamala Harris is without knowing who our mother was." In 1958, a precocious 19-year-old Indian, Gopalan traveled thousands of miles from her home and family to pursue a doctorate in nutrition and endocrinology in America. She soon became an active civil rights crusader while studying at UC Berkeley.
But once she went there, she almost felt free. And she took part in politics. She used to bring a whole series of literature, leftist literature from Karl Popper's, he was a great philosopher.
In her book, Harris says, "There is no title or honor on earth I'll treasure more than to say I am
Pay
Shamla
attention to
Gopalan
what he
Harris's
said, though.
daughter."
Mm-hmm.
Harris's visits to India with her mother kept her connected to her roots. Her grandfather, who had strong views on humanitarian issues, worked closely with officials to reallocate refugees. Their conversations had a strong influence.
Look at this, Tyrone. What did they say right there, Tyrone? Can you see that?
What, Indian roots shaped up political views?
No. Up above this. The Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles. This was when she was DA of California, I would imagine. And this is what she was focused on. Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles. Right? Like, it's very important. What did her uncle just say? Her father, her grandfather worked for humanitarian rights for refugees.
Yep.
And now 20, 40 years later, she working for refugees, immigrants. Same thing.
Influence on her.
Those walks along the beach in India really.
Hey, excuse me. Has she mentioned Jamaica yet? Has she walked along the beaches of Montego Bay or Ocho Rios? Did she mention that anywhere, AP? Anywhere? Did she say Ocho Rios?
She's not gonna mention Jamaica because that's just that where her parents were probably born at, but that doesn't make them Jamaican. That'll make them Jamaican.
Her parents were not. Her mama wasn't born in Jamaica. But I'm saying, like,
both of them say that they're Indian, so that's my whole point. So
I'm saying, like, has she ever been back to Jamaica? Like, we seen she talked about walking on the beaches in India. But if the blacks want to claim her, surely she went back to Jamaica. She never went back to Jamaica to her daddy's house. If her parents were divorced, she never went to her daddy's house. She just stayed with her. She went all the way back to India. She never stopped off in Jamaica. like she's very, and there's nothing wrong with being Indian. But I'm just saying that, they're portraying her as black, and it's like disrespectful, kind of like what Trump is saying. It's disrespectful to her Indian side.
Planted something in my mind and created a commitment in me before I even realized it that has led me to where I am today.
Harris's maternal uncle, Gopalan Balachandran, who lives in Delhi, tells us how the senator turns to her Amma, which means mother in Tamil, for guidance even after her death.
I don't have to tell her, make your mother proud. She said, "What are you telling me? Everything that I do, I ask myself, would Amma approve of this?"
Kamla in Hindi means lotus flower and is an important symbol in Indian culture, rooted deep in the bottom of the river.
It's a whole Indian name that we don't even realize, bro.
Yeah, because she uses her husband's last name, right?
I think she used her dad's last name. I think it's her dad's last name.
Who cares? Her first name is an Indian name, and we ain't even talking. Well, not we, but these blacks ain't even talking about that shit.
They probably think some shit that her mama made up.
We have a new Obama, but she's just a female.
They might just think some shit her mama made up. Is AP still here? Oh, AP left. I was curious, if AP has seen that video. Anyway, Tyrone, what's been on with Mimi? And I know you probably ain't even heard of Mimi. What's been going on with your life, Tyrone?
Oh, man, just working, maintaining. That's it. And looking at all this scripted political and Olympic rhetoric they got going right now. So I just try to stay out the way, man. Do what I have to do.
Have you been watching the Olympics, Tyrone?
I probably like go on YouTube or something like that. But like in the daytime when it's on, I really don't have time. But I see a lot of stuff that people see with their eyes, but they let their minds fool them. There are a lot of transformers in the Olympics this year.
Did you see that boxing match where that woman fought that man?
Damn man all day. Your eyes do not deceive you. The swimmer, damn man.
Oh, you saw that?
They're all over. They're all over, man. Your eyes are not deceiving you.
What do you think about that?
That's the agenda. That's the agenda they're pushing. They're trying to get everybody to accept that all over the world.
I wish we could get some liberals up here. I mean, Stanley is kind of an irrational liberal, but I wish we could get some other liberals. And maybe Stanley's a normal liberal. It doesn't see a problem with that. I didn't even know there was a gay swimmer or a transgender swimmer.
Yeah, man. And I think it's one in rugby too, if I'm not mistaken. So
a man playing female rugby?
I mean, he looked like a damn man to me. Outran all the females like a damn man. So
I wonder if oh man, I wish Stanley would come up here and talk about this stuff. Rashu, did you see all this? Did Rashu see it here? He may be out too.
Yeah, I'm here, but I didn't watch any of the Olympics. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Does this kind of turn you off that there are like all these transgenders in the Olympics?
Yeah, I don't like any of the shit that's going on in a lot of entertainment, bro. It's like the Romans where they were just entertaining people just to distract them from what the fuck they're doing. Like I'm really in some. I think we need to pay attention to what these people are doing, and we need to react on that. But that's another conversation.
No, it is very interesting. I think they're kind of ruining the Olympics. Like, who will watch it?
I mean, that intro says everything I needed to see about it. The intro with the whole, you know, what they call it, the supper for Jesus or some shit.
Yeah. I heard people were getting their accounts suspended. Maybe it was a copyright violation for showing that. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it because those channels, they don't have enough streams anymore. So they have to copyright people because these streams have more views, interactions, and etc. As you know how the YouTube works. They have to flag your videos when you use these things, right? That's how they make money.
So I wasn't aware of it. Like, here's a topic that I want to cover. I'm going to briefly cover it now and see what you guys think about this. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. I'm looking for it. All right. Yeah, I want to show you this. I started this. It's an interesting interview. I'm going to try to cue it up right at the point for you guys. This is an interview with Peter Thiel. And remember, I've done several streams about Peter Thiel, about how he he's funded J.D. Vance. So I want you, Rashu, people in the chat, I want you to take a look at this. Let me see if I can show it. Let me maximize it. This is Peter Thiel here.
And isn't there, somewhat of a concern that what you're doing and what, your company is contributing to this, mass attack of civilians, mass death and mass casualties, and what's, one of the most destructive wars of the century?
I don't know what your alternative is, and it is I don't know. We're on the we're at the 30th. In practice, I don't think the alternative is to simply let Hamas run things, and the fake alternative that I think people can only imagine to be real in a sort of as decoupled from reality and environment as this is something like it should be run by the United Nations or some international lawyers committee or something like this. And I think I think where again I'm sympathetic to the Israeli side is their view is these things don't actually work. The United Nations did not protect the Rwandans from the genocide in 1994. We're in the 30-year anniversary of that, and I don't think Kagame is a perfect human being, but in that crazy context, he basically what he did was basically the correct thing, and a million people got killed while the UN was twiddling its thumbs. The UN is not able to do something here, and that's sort of the Israeli perspective. They will not be protected by these fake international institutions, and then it is what is your alternative? If you're dealing with something that is intentionally genocidal on the Hamas side.
No,
I'm sure somebody else will ask a follow-up.
So we'll have more time for audience questions. We'll go right at the front in the blue there.
So what do you think about the use of artificial intelligence or lavender by the IDF in identifying Hamas targets? And secondly, do you agree with Elon Musk about that the population decline is a risk for humanity?
Look, I'm not, without going into all the I'm not on top of all the details of what's going on in Israel because my bias is to defer to Israel. It's not.
It's one of those things, it's going to be very difficult, with a guy like J.D. Vance. He's going to get his way, be it Bitcoin or deference to Israel, and I'm sure he's funding both sides. But when they asked him about Israel, he was all, and then he just let it out. Look, I defer to Israel. Let that be all. Anyway,
yeah, man. I think
what do you think?
guy. I don't know, man. I think J.D. Vance is suspect, to be honest with you.
Someone suspects he's on drugs. I think if he wasn't drugged out enough to know what not to say. And once he was asked the question,
man, he don't know damn. I don't think it's drugs. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta grow the fuck up.
Yeah, they both started in PayPal together.
But Peter Thiel is behind him the whole way.
But did you hear the question when she asked him about his software that allows the Israelis to kill people, more or less using AI?
Nah, nope, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that was the question. I won't play it again, but that was the question she was asking him about. Your software is being used by Israel to more or less just kill people indiscriminately. I forget the name of the software. Get Crack knows. And so
So
when
remember
they,
the Palantir thing that we were talking about on one of
yeah,
the
that's the
streams,
Palantir guy.
right?
Yeah, he's the Palantir guy.
Peter Thiel is the go ahead, go ahead.
No, that was him. He was the Palantir guy. And so when they asked him a question about using the Palantir, I think that was the Palantir guy. Either that was him or Alex Carr.
No, Peter Thiel was the Palantir guy.
Yeah, both were. Yeah, that was Peter Thiel right there. Yeah, that's Peter Thiel. Yeah, so when they were asking Peter Thiel about using the Palantir software to kill for the Israelis to kill the Gazan people, he was like, look, I defer to Israel. And we've seen how they can use that software to kill anybody, like, to pinpoint killing people. And so now you have Peter Thiel now supporting JD Vance, and those things just start internationally, end up being used domestically. So that's kind of my interest that's my take on it, where things could go in that.
I mean, yeah, man.
The same way Twitter was used to start up the Arab Spring, it can now be used against us in the same way,
Well, look at Google. Google was spun up because of a CIA op, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it became a thing that it was like, oh, let's put this out in the public, and now we can aggregate all this data from different, keywords that people are typing into the search. But go ahead, John.
It kind of becomes a stretch of imagination, really, when you think about it. Facebook really started by a college student, Twitter too. I mean, as you can clearly see that Jack Dorsey didn't run Twitter. I would suspect that the government had a strong hand in those companies at some point in their life cycle. That would be my opinion. Yeah. Anyway, right. Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. They have data. I mean, they have data out right now that's proven. I mean, even right now to this day, Google is suppressing certain data about Donald Trump and his shooting. You type in Donald Trump and you don't get the keywords that come up. But
yeah, what do they call it? Like the type of hit or something like that. Yeah. Now I can believe that.
It's called SEO, search engine optimizer, right? So when you just type in certain words, you should be able to. They'll have the drop down bars that will be able to tell you, hey, oh, this is what you're talking about. There's no drop down bars when it comes to this guy. And it's like, come on.
It should be predictive. The actual term is I think it's type ahead. When you're typing in the search, and someone says predictive search. Hey, Tropes, I can't remember if I sent you my phone number or not, but if I didn't, I will. If I did, give me a call. I want to talk to you about some editing if you're interested. If you're not, I understand. You may have other things to do. Yeah. But look, guys, I got to get out of here. I just wanted to cover a couple of those topics. The Pritzker topic was interesting to me because they've been funding these transgender stuff for a very long time. And now we have transgender all the way ascending all the way up to the Olympics. And then all that, they more or less censored the Olympics. You can't even see the man beating up the woman or the men swimming against women and winning. So it's all kind of interesting to me. Anyway, any other thoughts, Russia?
Nah, man, I ain't got nothing else to say. Yeah, man.
Anyway, it's always good. It's always good to have you at Russia. Hey, I'm gonna be headed back to New York at some point, so I'll probably be doing some live streaming there. I have the equipment up, so we probably do another live stream or two from Franklin Avenue, as well as Brooklyn, my buddy's bar in Brooklyn. And then this time I'll try to catch up with Nina and see if we can even do a live stream with her. Her and Kimmy Cakes. What do you guys think about that? It'd be like a all women panel there. All right. Anyway, guys, see you after your 3 hours. That's right. If HB comes on, right, we'll be back on about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Be up to HB. He may be napping right now. But yeah, we'll be back up again probably during the trucking show in the morning. If you have any topic suggestions, feel free to drop me an email. Otherwise, it's just a quick show just to cover a couple of topics. All right. Have a good night. Thank you.